Hello, everybody out there in webcast land. Bruce Harrod here, and over here on my side is Peter Kelly.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Peter. So we're back again. We're going to be talking about marketing and networking. We're both involved in authentic networking. We'll talk about that a little later. But today we have a very special guest. I'm quite excited.
I'm a big fan of him.
Yeah, well, it's me, and we're taking turns on these first two webcasts that we're doing, where last time you saw that Peter got the spotlight, and we talked all about his how he brings great things to clients through video, and then today we're going to talk about how I help small business owners land more of the right clients, where I bring marketing and small business smarts and skills to them, as I did with Peter. How long
Absolutely. I was going to say that's one of the reasons I wanted to make sure we talked to you about your business, is because I quite literally was one of your clients. You helped me immensely when I was restarting my business. I had just left a full-time job, and I had been on my own prior to that. But I wanted to kind of do it right the second time around, and you really pointed me in the right direction. I still get compliments on some of the stuff that I do that's completely based on what you showed me.
I want royalties. I don't want compliments. I want royalties. No, seriously, folks. That's nice to hear. That's always wonderful to hear. And it's wonderful when past clients contact me and they use some of the suggestions I made in terms of how to contact, how to communicate. And as you'll hear from me today, marketing is communications. So I'll be talking a lot about communications.
Yep.
And I'm going to hand it over to Peter Kelly now, and you're going to be the interviewer.
Yeah. Well, I mean, let's start right at the beginning. How did you get into what you do now?
Well, I was a writer. I've been in the marketing and advertising field, the marketing and sales field, for my entire career. I was a writer back in a few decades ago. I was a writer for corporations. So my job was to help sales vice presidents of sales to present material to their sales team once a year at a conference. And I had to use all my skills of communication and persuasion to get them pumped up. I worked with the marketing team because the marketing team always presents to the sales team. So I learned both aspects. They sometimes don't always get along together. So that was sometimes trying to bridge that.
Yep.
The marketing people say, oh, they don't really know how to sell. We need to help them. And then the salespeople say, they don't know what we go through here on the front line, right? So it was having some fun between them. I was a comedy writer, essentially, so we were doing a lot of live entertainment with musical comedy. What I learned was the basics of communication, and also the basics of what are the basic marketing tools that you need. What do salespeople need? One of the things I used to do when I got a writing assignment, no matter if it was for Honda or Timex or whoever it was for, I would ask to go out on the road with a salesperson. So I'd actually live their life for a day, and we'd go and visit customers. I'd get the dirt from them, and get the true reality of what it's like to be out there in the front lines. And then I also would talk to the marketing department about what it is they're trying to help the sales team with. So I got both there. I also worked in an ad agency for 3 years, where I got to figure out what a headline is, what persuasive copy is, what a good lead is. I won an award for a jingle I wrote. I won an award for an outdoor advertising, a billboard thing, big billboard,
Nice.
Billboard. We called them outdoor, and I did national campaigns there. So it was really, I think I learned from that how to be succinct, how to get a message across in a very few number of words, minimum number of words, because I was dealing with 30 seconds on TV and radio, of course. And in print, I was sometimes, a headline, and I had 30 words of copy, and then there was a picture.
And that's a bit of a lost art form, the conciseness, because like I coming from the world of TV, I've had to deal with the promo or commercial has to be 15 seconds. It has to be 30 seconds. And now that we've moved into online, those limitations aren't there. But the power of conciseness is still, I don't know, it's a lost art for me. It's still a very powerful way to do stuff, but without that limitation.
I also think that the fact that we're online and we have this endless endless spool of time. We don't really, because we have to catch your attention. Right, we still have to capture attention and keep it, and certainly that's an art that's still valid in terms of what I teach my clients, whether it's online writing or speaking or whatever it is. So to fast forward through that, I did that writing, I did some training, I wrote training programs that were video based, and then broadcast training for the Royal Bank, which was national. So again, I was trying to communicate sales ideas to a wide audience in a short period of time in an entertaining way that they would watch and learn and retain. A few years later, I got kind of tired of actually writing full time, and I wanted to try something different. And I ran into this new breed of people. This was the mid 2000s, 2004. I met these people called coaches. And at that point, if you said you were a coach, they go, "Which sport?" And I go, "No, like a business coach." "No, you'll have to explain it to me." So it was really on the forefront. I graduated from coaching school in 2006. And it was quite an uphill climb there to describe what it was. What I wanted to do is I wanted to be able to communicate everything I had learned from the big guys, all the large corporations I had worked, everything from, SC Johnson, Kentucky Fried Chicken, Speedy Muffler, GlaxoSmithKline, the major banks, and all that stuff. I wanted to share that with the people I really could relate to, which was small business solopreneurs. And I thought they deserved to have all of this knowledge that only goes to the big guys.
Right.
They deserve to have that in their own pocket, the tools, the concepts, the actual how to say it, and all that stuff. And so the perfect sort of Venn diagram was coaching, small business, and marketing sales. So I'm a coach. I've been in small business. I've been in self-employed since I was 24. That's many years, right? So I had to figure out. So when I work with my clients on marketing and sales, they're also saying, like, what about my budget for this? What about my staffing for this? Should I outsource that? And I'm able to be knowledgeable and helpful because I've done it myself, and I've made lots of mistakes, of course, right? So what I found was I could find a way. I wanted a way to have relationships of 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, and years with individuals who would benefit from me on an ongoing basis, meeting with them, talking to them on the phone, to get them up to a certain level of consistency, which is what we did in terms of getting up to a certain level of contact with prospects, and then keeping them there over a period of time until it became habitual.
Right.
And then I would drop out of the scene, maybe come back for a tune-up every once in a while. Having said that, Peter, I'll be celebrating this spring. I think it's 9 years with one client
Oh, wow.
who decided that I needed to be around for her career, and another 2 clients for 4 years each, coming up on 5. So sometimes the client feels that the benefit is so high in terms of the monthly investment that they want to have this, what do you call it, a
There's an
virtual.
accountability factor. I mean, that's what I
Yes.
found as because I don't have a full-time staff. I crew up for what I do. The bigger projects, I bring in freelancers.
Mhm.
So it's not uncommon for me to go a week or two and I'm working by myself.
Mhm.
Um, so having someone like you there and consistently, like weekly, I had to report in. I had to kind of like, here's everything I've done since we last talked, and then you talk about what I need to do. That accountability is something I think a lot of small business people could really benefit from.
And I think that's what my clients appreciate over the long term, because as I would bring them new information, of course, all the time, and I would coach them around some new skill that they need to brush up on. But as you say, having that supportive partner, silent partner kind of there, who's kind of your business partner, who you want to bring up to speed, who you want to stay current with, and who is supportive and helpful, has been really beneficial for my clients. So
I think we
that's
would
how I.
segue that into, so what is it that you bring to your client? Can you give me an example or two? Like, obviously I know, but for the viewer, if I were to hire you tomorrow, what
Mhm.
would I expect to actually, what would happen?
Well, that's a good question in terms of process. The very first thing, I'm starting a new client this week, a couple new clients this week actually, one this evening, and my very first effort is to get really clear and very concise about what they want. It may sound kind of moot, but it's actually not. It's the most important thing.
Mm,
So I ask a number of questions about what it is they want in their business. And when they can articulate what they want, then I can start to bring in what they'll need. So it's really like a needs analysis to match their wants. Say they have a goal of, I'd like to increase my sales by 40% this year, and I'd like to expand my product line, for example, or my services. I'd like to expand my services. So they give me those goals, and we talk about, excuse me, a glass of water. We talk about what it'd be like when they get there. I call that magnetizing the goal. So I want to fire them up about that goal and also test whether that's the true destination they want to go to.
right.
Because some people say, I want to do this, but then when it gets, when the hard work comes, like you remember in month 2, some hard work
Yeah.
has to be invested in it, right? We check all that out. And then we set about to, I figure out what it is I need to teach them. Best way I can express coaching is it's a combination of having the best damn tutor in the world, like a university course on marketing and sales, only it's one-on-one and you get this private tutoring once a week or every 2 weeks, depends. So you get all that teaching, all that learning. On top of that, you get someone who's the accountability partner, as you said. So I'm always checking that they're moving forward, that the learning is deeper and that it's landing. And I test them. We'll do like, say, Peter, when you wanted to go on sales calls, we actually rehearsed what those were.
Yep.
So we would do a role play, and I'd pretend I was this new client, and I'd say, "So, what can I do for you today?" And you'd have a script, which I helped you with, and then you'd go from that script. So basically, this is my theory that I never want you to go out before you're ready for a certain thing. So, for example, if we're working with new clients, we would go out on a low risk prospect where it's sort of a friend or a family friend or a referral, a warm referral, before we get to the one 3 months or 2 months down the road where there's a high risk, large
Right.
project, you really want to land it. I think the thing my clients would say is that I bring a sense of humor to it, absolutely. So that, I remember a lawyer saying to me, they're pretty cut and dried sometimes. So this lawyer said to me at the third session, he said, I'm really enjoying this, as if he shouldn't be. And I said, oh, that's good. Didn't you expect to enjoy it? He said, no, I thought it'd be all boring business and statistics, but you're really fun. And you're fun to talk to.
It's
So,
amazing, a little bit of levity, like even the most serious things, when you add a little bit of levity to it, occasionally, it makes it more enjoyable. And I find it makes the lessons stick a lot better.
well, when it gets a little too serious, I just bring in the rabbit, for example. I've actually used these things when I'm doing an assessment. So I do this. We'll try it on the viewers at home. Which do you prefer, the doggy or the bunny? And which do you prefer, Peter? Just
I'm a dog guy.
okay. So you like the doggy. So what is it about the doggy that you like?
I think the ears caught my attention at first, and
Well, the ears are great.
yeah, and it was just it was clearly defined, where the bunny was a little more fuzzy, just by the nature of the material it's made out of.
Okay. Okay. So now I'll go a little deeper and I'll ask you, so what do dogs symbolize to you? You said you really like dogs.
Oh, okay, we're gonna do that. It's focus and loyalty.
Dogs are loyal. So
Yeah.
you like dogs for their loyalty. They focus you because you have to pay attention to them, you mean? They're like,
Yeah, or they keep you in the moment. There's two things, I guess. One, dogs themselves, when they're going after that ball, everything is about that ball. They tend to be very focused on whatever they're doing. And then personally, like, it's animals as a whole, but dogs, you have to be in the moment with them. Like, you can't be thinking about what you need to do tomorrow while you're petting a dog. Like, that's
right.
just, the
So
dog demands your attention.
Right. So at this point, I might say to my client, Peter, it sounds like loyalty is important to you. Paying attention to something's important to you. Being single-minded about something, are those all important things in your business?
Yeah, that actually that sounds about right. It actually applies very much so.
Right. So I do things like that that bring some creativity into it. I also have a background as a creative writer. I've been a playwright, a songwriter, I have an album on Spotify. I play from time to time music. I'll bring music sometimes into our work. For example, sometimes I don't know if you remember, Peter, I'd say, if your business was a song today at this point in time, November, whatever, what would the title of the song be?
Right,
And
right.
Peter might say, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Or he might say, um, things are looking up. And I'd say, what tempo? Oh, very up tempo. And then I'd ask him to unpack that. So you chose a song that's up tempo and things are looking up. Can you tell me three things that are looking up for you today to support that? And that's just another creative, as you use probably as a director of video. Obviously, you're going to be creative in terms of how you get a performance from somebody. You might do a little distraction. I don't know if you knew, you can welcome to borrow my bunny anytime you want. I have several other stuffed animals, which I won't talk about at this moment because it's just a little too weird. But as creative people do, like Peter and I, we use creativity. And some people think, oh, business coach, marketing coach is all going to be kind of dry. The guy's going to be like an MBA and it's going to be all statistics. Not at all. As Peter would tell you, I'm
Yes, not my
highly
experience.
creative and I love creative people.
All right, let me ask you this, because you deal with such a broad range of different businesses.
Mhm.
Are there any common mistakes or common like patterns, like bad patterns you're seeing from business owners?
I was talking to a client this morning. We've been working together for 4.5 years, and we were reviewing some of the tasks over the. We did a review basically the last year, and we looked at all the tasks that we had created, and it was um, letting slide some of the habits, and that's my job to bring attention, but letting slide some of the habits that were entrenched, practiced consistently, and were bringing good results, but had been let go of in favor of something that seemed more important at the time.
Right.
So today, with my client, we really said, okay, for this year until the end of fiscal, at the end of October, what's our financial goal? And what are our three big movers, prime movers, you might say, that are going to move to that goal? And it started to break down into delegation and segmentation and all the aspects of business, right? But that's the main thing, is losing momentum, which is why I try to encourage people when I'm finished the 3 or 6 month sessions with them, that they see me once a month on the phone. They can, talk to me on
Right,
the
right.
phone. It's quite reasonable cost, and that keeps them tuned into the things that they know they want to do.
Yeah. Again, it goes back to the accountability, and especially when you're on your own, if you don't have somebody that you're answering to, there's
Mhm.
something. It's hard to keep consistent, because there's always something urgent that pops up,
Yeah.
and often people confuse, and I know I do it. You confuse what's important with what's urgent.
And in fact, actually, the quadrant you want to be in is important and not urgent, because
Yes.
that's where the real leverage is. Not important is not important, and urgent takes you, off the side. So if you take those quadrants that Stephen Covey, first of all, put together and various people have adapted, it's that upper right corner, which is important, not urgent. And only when you have a system in place that handles all the administrivia, the minutiae, you either
Yeah.
delegate them or have them systemized or automated.
Automated. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like that better. Then you concentrate on things without stress. One of the things that I've done for many clients is they say, I'm overworked, I'm stressed, my business is running me. Can you help me? And I say, yeah, we need to make sure that you're doing only the important things, and everything is either delegated or automated, and that takes a period of time. But I know in your business, you had a pretty well systemized way that you went about doing things. I think I gave you more of a system on landing a client, the
Yeah.
steps of contact, pitch, trial close, proposal, and I taught you how to do proposal, right? So
Proposal was for me the key thing. My proposals, my I still have got a lot to learn in terms of lead generation, but in terms of actually closing, once I've written a proposal, my rate has fired up after your help. I still like, that's the one thing people are always really impressed with my proposals, and they don't take that long to do. Like, it's not like I'm spending hours at a time, especially once you've written a couple. It's really easy to modify. Anyways, we're actually running out of time here, so
don't want to overstay our welcome.
Yeah. We don't push people too
far. We
far.
want to be entertaining, right? So thanks for listening, folks. Well, let's talk a bit about authentic networking, because we'd like people to come and see us at those events, right?
Yes, absolutely. So the big thing we do is once a month down at Young and College in downtown Toronto, we have an event at Mickey Finn's, and it's a structured networking event. So the first half hour or so is, the usual kind of wander around, chat with whoever you want. And then we sit down in groups of 5 or 6, and you're given a menu of questions, and everybody at the table gets 2 minutes to answer whichever question or questions strikes their fancy. And that really gets the conversation going. And it's one of those things where that little bit of structure keeps the pressure off. So it's not doesn't feel like work. You're not having to force a conversation.
I can give a bit of a testimony. I was there the last one. So it's really fun and it's really effective. So if you've been to networking events where you go, oh, well, all I got is cards, I don't know what happened there. And I talk to people how to drink, right? This, you're actually focusing on learning more specifically about each person at your table, and then you switch tables. Anyway, it's really good. And you take away knowing the people you want to follow up with.
Yeah. Because
it's a meetup, you can go to the meetup site and decide to follow up with that person because you can contact them anonymously.
Yeah. So yeah, if anybody who's interested, we'll put the URL on the screen. You can go to meetup.com and look up. It's Authentic Networkers Downtown Toronto. And
what about
it's the second Tuesday of every month that we have that event.
What about the mastermind? Just say a quick word about that.
Mastermind, we do at the end of the month, and we do that during the day. So, and the idea there is we get a group of professionals to sit down and we have one conversation, and we pick a topic. The next one's going to be visibility. And we just all as a group share what's working to help us keep ourselves, in this case, visible, and what's not working. What advice can we give each other? So we don't have an expert per se come in. We just have all these professionals who are actively working and discussing the different approaches that they take. So it's a very shared communal experience.
It worked very well. I was there just last week, and I learned something. Everybody's openly sharing their tips with each other because it's communal. And,
it fosters a sense of community. That's what I like. I like it. I want this to be a group of actual business owners and professionals who help each other. They're not, yes, we all want to get clients. Yes, we want to grow our business, but it's also helping each other.
We need each other. It's human. So check it out, Authentic Networkers. That's on Meetup, correct?
Yep, absolutely. And if you need a business coach or a marketing coach, I highly recommend Bruce. He'll do wonders for you and your business.
Thank you. Thank you so
much. We go. And if you need a video for your website, for your social media, you need to impress the SEO of your website, please talk to me. I'd love to help out.
He does great work, and he's done work for me. It's about to launch next month.
Fantastic. I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Okay, take care now.
On that note, I think we'll say farewell.
Bye-bye.